What is going on, Future Focus family? My name is George. We talk about investing on this channel, and today I wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown of things to expect in the week that's coming up. But how do you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Did you guys watch the games on Thursday? The Chiefs played yesterday against the Chargers. That was a pretty good game. The Chargers ended up upsetting Patrick Mahomes. So you guys can figure that out. What about the Dallas Cowboys game versus the Eagles? CeeDee Lamb kind of dropped a few balls, pause. But that's if he's on your fantasy team. I don't know how you guys felt about that. He dropped about three balls there, but yeah, we're not here to talk about sports, but we're here to talk about whatever you guys want. This is AMA, so you can ask me anything. While you guys are asking questions and all that, what I'm going to be doing is going through here and showing you guys kind of the stuff that I'm looking at, and we could do it together. All the things that I'm looking at this week coming ahead that I find important. I hope you guys get something out of this. If you do, please please drop a subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been given. It really means a lot. And I hope that I really am adding some sort of value to you guys in total. You know what I mean? So, with all that said, let's get right into it. Some of the stuff I'm looking at is, let's get right here. It's loading. Let's just go to the headlines. All right, so this is how the week ended. The Dow was down, the S&P 500, Nasdaq were all down, but one thing you guys got to keep in mind is that the VIX was also down as well. So that's something to keep in perspective. I've been telling you guys this whole week, if the volatility index keeps going down, that is a trigger to try to buy something. If it keeps going down, yes, that's your trigger to buy. And when it goes above 30, even 25 for some cryptocurrencies and stocks, I'm looking at that to be a seller of things. Gold, even though it's down, it still has broken out. As you click over here, we can see the different charts. This is a 1 month chart, 3 month chart. It's kind of been on an upswing, and that's because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And you, as an investor, you want to be prepared for all those things, and you want to take advantage of it. So, how's Europe doing? Europe's was ended the week down as well. How about Asia? Asia was kind of up, so that's something to keep in mind. Rates. Did you guys see what happened to the mortgage rates? They dropped a lot substantially. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then crypto currently is down across the board. XRP literally just hit under 279. Well, there you go. It went right back to 280. So again, I'm a buyer under the 280 price, but right now it's kind of in a kind of side to side trend like we've been talking about all week. But let's look at some of the stuff that I'm looking at. All right. So this is the things that are going to move the market either up or down in September. So we have right here the fourth productivity and costs, which that just happened. The next thing is the ninth. We have county employment and wages, which is not really big, but just something to keep in mind because those county ones end up going to the big ones later on. Then on the ninth, we also have current employment statistics preliminary benchmark. Then we have the current employment statistics for state and area and national. Those are all on the ninth. These are the two big ones that people are looking out for this week. We have CPI and PPI. So the consumer price index and the producer price index. Those are two big ones to look at because this could be kind of a measure of inflation. And, the Federal Reserve is looking for a reason to drop rates. A lot of people say they're behind the power curve. I want to know how you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments below. But are they behind the power curve? Should they have dropped rates already? I know we all want them to, but should they have? It's kind of hard when a lot of the things that are coming out are not really as bearish as people expect it to be. Then we have earnings, real earnings. employer costs for employee compensation. But again, this is from the US BLC.gov, BLS.gov. It's the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. These are all the proposed dates to look at. Specifically here, we're going to look at federalreserve.gov to look at some of the key dates that we're looking at for them. This is some of the stuff that passed already, January 28th and 29th. We had March 18th, March 19th, and you could go here and look at all the stuff that they discussed in August. They had a statement on longer run goals and monetary policy strategy. Next thing I'm going to look at is September 16th and 17th. Are we going to get a drop there? If not, will we get it in 28th and 29th? People are predicting 325 basis point drops in the next 3 months. Not like September, October, November, but these 3 months here, September, October, and December. So keep that in mind. Let's go look at some articles that discuss some of the things going on in the cryptocurrency market. So this one is the Google altcoin searches hit a 5-year high. So as alt season fever returns to retail traders. One thing that you guys can look at if you guys are into trading or into, are just getting into investing or not getting into investing. One good thing that's an asset for you guys is, we'll go to it right now. We'll go to Google Trends. And you could just come here. Let me zoom into this so you guys could actually see it. So go to Google Trends. You could click here and search for something, or you can see what's trending right now. And this gives you a list of all the things that are trending right now. Obviously, football is back in effect. We have the professional football and college football. So a lot of the things you see are going to be from that. There's things that show up on here that have to do with politics. There's stuff on here that have to do with, maybe something a celebrity said. And you could even look at it in the United States. We could look at what's something close to you, like what people are searching in your vicinity. We could search, by relevance, what are we actually talking about? Or you can actually go and search yourself. So let's look at crypto. So interest over time, if we look at it's, kind of been sustained, not really in there. But let's look at maybe XRP. So interest over time, not really there. It'll show you like in bold blue where more people are searching, 100% interest, 93% in Hawaii, Florida's 80, so on and so forth. But this is a good one to look at. Even down here, you see, let me zoom in. So Lumen's currency right here. Then you have gold price, meme coin topic. So let's look at what that's about. So meme coins, you can see it had a big pop in January, but it's kind of digressed since there. This one's funny right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Number one, Hawk Tua. And just like a stock, her interest popped and then it dropped slowly. That's pretty funny when you look at it. But yeah, that's a good tool for you guys to look at if you guys are thinking about investing or trading. Just seeing, if something is real or if it's just being boosted up or boosted down because of just, like a popularity vote. So Google search activity for altcoin has reached its highest level in 5 years, matching interest levels last seen during Ethereum's foundation. The surge coincides with a shift in market structure as Bitcoin share of total crypto market has slipped towards 60% after peaking in mid-summer, a pattern that has often preceded periods of performance in alternative cryptocurrencies. Ethereum has subsequently reached multi-year highs, breaking 4,500, but it's down over there right now. So this is the interest over time. And as you can see, back in August 9th, it was kind of down. It kind of had a little boost like we talked about in December. Came back, had a little up in February. It had a real low and that's, dropped. And then as you go here for altcoins, they've kind of had a big boost. So, there's a lot of popularity coming to some of these, or maybe all of them. But let's read more into this. So Bitcoin's dominance recently eased to 59 to 61% range, a threshold where capital history begins to rotate into large cap altcoins such as Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. That rotation appears to be underway in institutional markets as well. CoinShares reported record weekly inflows into digital asset investment products in late July, totaling 4.39 billion, with Ethereum accounting for 2.12 billion, nearly double any previous weekly inflow for the asset. On-chain and derivative data also reflecting the change in positioning. So Bitcoin and Ethereum broke out of a 7-month downtrend in June, reclaiming 900 billion. This is their market cap. Kaiko data from Q1 also identified a widening volatility gap between altcoin and Bitcoin, a structural feature common in the early stages of previous alt seasons. So just something to keep in mind here. When it's talking about alt seasons, it's kind of just giving you a perspective that maybe some cryptocurrencies are going to outperform because they're not Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to kind of take a break because it gets too hot. And then people are looking not just to sell it, but sell it and get into something else. They're trying to find what the next thing is, because they feel since they've been successful, let me not just put this back in my checking account where it's not going to really make me any money, or in a savings account, the same thing. Let me go put it into another cryptocurrency, since, Bitcoin has kind of run its, I'm expecting that to drop. And that's when alt season begins. A lot of people get bullish on future cryptocurrencies. So let's look at this other one, this other article here. This one is called Bitcoin Stays Below 112,000 After a Tough Jobs Report and Fed Cut Bets. What's next? We're also going to look at a chart as we talk about this, but the U.S. jobs report revealed only 2,200 jobs in addition in August, far below expectations, increasing the likelihood of a Fed rate cut. Still, BTC's price remains below 112,000, which right now it's at 110,269. Despite impending Fed rate cuts, the downside in Treasury yields appears limited. Bad news has just been bad news over the past 24 hours. The leading cryptocurrency by market value remains below 112,000 instead of rallying on the prospect of easier monetary policy. So again, the expectation was that it's going to go up, but because, there's easing, and like I said, we're expecting 3 Fed rate cuts before January. So you would think that Bitcoin is going to rally on that. But on the other side of that coin, dad joke. On the other side of that coin, you also got to keep in mind that when things like this happen and a cryptocurrency or a stock has run up a lot, one thing you guys got to keep in mind is that a lot of people already have made their profits. So when they hear news like this, they sell on that news. And that's what a common term that we talk about here all the time: buy the rumor, sell the news. And that's kind of the trend that people get caught up, end up getting caught up in. So just keep that in mind. So right here, it talks about the double top. And I wanted to show you guys, what does that mean? So if we look at the 3-month chart for Bitcoin, you could see that there's a double top here. All right. It hit a top here on the July 25th, and then it hit a top here on August 25th. So one thing you want to do to confirm a double top is you don't look at just the tops, you look at the neckline, right? And you want to see like a week of closes after that neckline. What does a double top mean? It usually means it's usually a bearish signal. It's not always a bearish signal, but anything you see a double top in any type of chart, it's usually a negative thing that precedes that chart. So that's what traders look at. And this one, when you're looking at the 3-month chart, one reason that this is so big is that it's not just a short-term thing like a minute chart or a weekly chart. This right here is a 3-month chart, and you've seen multiple lower lows and lower highs after the neckline. So if we put that neckline, let's say we put it over here at 115,250 just for S's and G's. Um, we'll say we've closed below that since August 25th. We've been, I'm sorry, since, yeah, the 23rd of August, we've been closing beneath that. So that's something to keep in mind. Then we bring it down. We'll go to the 1 month chart, and you could see that it's like a lot of negativity, a lot of lower highs. Another double top here, and then lower lows. We were closing lower than we did previously. So this is an indication that we have more downside to go. So one of the places that I'm looking is this $107 mark as resistance. So if it closes beneath this for a longer period of time, it would kind of confirm the bearish signal, and that would mean that there's more downside involved here. So just something to think about if you're thinking about getting into Bitcoin right now. Just know that there is a bearish, a negative trend line building here. If you look at the last 5 days, it's just been trading sideways. So if you look at that, it doesn't really look unhealthy. But again, you got to take a longer term outlook. If you go to let's say the 6 month chart, you could see that if you look at the 6 month chart, we could put a line right here. And we've had a lot of bullish days where we've been closing above those areas. So we've been, closing above there. Let's see, we can move that. And then we'll bring that back to the 3 month chart. And yeah, like there's a convergence right here at the $107,381 mark. So yeah, just keep in mind there, if it falls beneath 107,000, I'm looking at that as a bearish signal. Me personally, I am not looking to purchase any Bitcoin at this moment. When it's kind of at a certain point, I kind of dollar cost average into it. And I do that weekly. But as of right now, as we're looking at these charts, that is not something that I think we should be doing. Again, we'll look at the 3 month chart again. We see that double top. We see right here the neckline. And we've seen that we have multiple days of closing underneath this neckline. So I am not jumping into that cryptocurrency at this time. But again, that could be a confirmation of the altcoin season. That could be a confirmation that we are going into this altcoin season where a lot of the altcoins are going to outperform. And this time around, it may not be all the ones that are popular. It may not be the XRPs, XTCs, a lot of these other ones that people are talking about. It could end up being some ones you've never heard of. A lot of bullishness happens and people just start jumping into the meme coin that's on Reddit or is on Instagram or is on Twitter. So just keep that in mind. Sorry, don't sue me. So let's look at the S&P 500. Let's look at some lines I drew here at different price points. So this is a kind of a mark I'm leaving here. 6,443 is kind of a sign, just like I showed you in Bitcoin. If we close beneath this point, that will confirm a bearish signal for myself. We bring it to 3 months. Again, we've just been trading up and down in between this range. I drew a line here between 6,470 and 6,359. And those are two areas that I'm kind of looking at to show you guys. So these areas right here. One thing I did was on the volume at the bottom that I do want you guys to look at. This is a year-to-date chart. So one thing that's been good is that the volume has not been way too high or way too low until you go back to like the April timeframe when we really dropped. There was a lot of fear in the market during this time. But lately it's just been a consistent sideways trend with that. Let's look at the 1 month. If you look at the 1 month chart, you had a bullish day here on the 26th of August. But ever since then, it's just been, kind of consistent. You've had some red days, some green days, but all throughout the board has been kind of just trending sideways. But yeah, with all that said, we covered a few different things. I saw some of you jump in and jump out. If you like content like this, please let me know what you guys want to talk about, what you guys want to discuss in the comments below. I really enjoy doing this for you guys, so I really appreciate it. But as always, invest in me and press that like button, invest in yourself, and smash the subscribe button. It literally costs you nothing. Until next time.